Hello everybody, Mitzi Cruz here, host of Lincoln Live, the show that is all about you, Lincoln. So today we have the pleasure of being here live with Dr. Kris Corn with Right to Walk. And so we are just beyond excited to be here live with Kris as we hear more about Right to Walk. And also, just as a reminder, we love audience participation, so please comment, please share the live video. You'll actually be entered into a gift card drawing for a $50 gift card to Boonaroni's. And in addition to that, we just love to get your feedback, your questions, and your comments. And so, Dr. Corn, can you start off by telling us a little bit about yourself, please?
I'd be happy to. I am a physical therapist, and that's why all of this started. And I had my own, I still have my own private practice, and I realized that children often, particularly the ones that are in wheelchairs, spend most of their life in a wheelchair. And I thought to myself, if I were a child, would I really like to do that?
Right.
And I thought, no, I wouldn't. And so I had learned a little bit about what horseback riding could do. I had gone out and researched some information, and so anyhow I went out and bought a small pony with all of the equipment that I did not know how to put on. And then I met a wonderful lady. Her name is Judith Catino, and she helped me put the whole thing together.
Wow.
She disappeared from my life for a while, and she's back here helping again. So it really is a close-knit family. We have had many joys and many successes because of my desire to help children and the families see that there's more than just a limited, life for these kids in wheelchairs. And of course it helps many, many children, as we'll talk about later. And so it's just my passion at this point to be able to make sure that as many children as possible can be up on a horse and have the experience of what the horse brings, because I call them my magic horses.
I think one of the things that make horses such a special animal is that they really can take on mirror, right, our emotions.
Yes. Yes.
And and it's different than any other animal that's used in therapy. Dogs have a tendency sometimes to be aggressive. Not that dogs aren't amazing, but they are predatory by nature, right?
Right.
Whereas horses are more.
They're herd animals, and they like to split. They don't want to confront.
Yeah, and they're very docile and just I love horses. So, can you tell us more about how long Ride to Walk has been around, and maybe tell us how many acres this beautiful property is?
Yes. Well, Ride to Walk's been around almost 35 years.
Wow.
I am the founder and the director of the program, so I'm the crazy lady who's been doing this all this time, but much to my joy and delight, because we've had so many children who've done so exceptionally well.
Yes.
And so we've had many homes. This is one we've been on for about 23 years. It's 21 acres. It's got a 6-acre pond on it. We take trail rides with the children out around the lake and then come back. The lake happens to be one of the best bass fishing lakes in all of Placer County.
Really?
And it's a good secret, but it's getting out there, so people are knowing. All of this, I feel, belongs to the community.
Yes.
Even though it's Ride to Walk. So all people are invited to come out and fish, and we ask that they do a $5 donation per pole.
Okay.
And you can come out, have lunch, spend the day, and that's what your cost will be. And it's pretty reasonable, and yet we want to serve the Lincoln community.
I love that. And so I understand you guys are a 501c3 nonprofit, is that correct?
That is absolutely 100% correct. Yes.
So where do you get your funding?
That's a good question. We do a lot of begging. We ask people, if they can donate. I have a wonderful grant writer who does do grants, but we don't tend to get big grants. We tend to get, $3,000 to $5,000 grants at a time.
Oh.
It would be nice someday if we got a $100,000 grant.
Right.
And maybe that will come. We never know. But without him, we would not exist. So it's grants that we get, it's donations, it's events that we put on. We just did a beer and wine tasting out here, which was a huge success for our first time.
Yeah.
People had a wonderful time, and everybody said, well, we'll come back next year. So we said, well, that's good.
I know, I wanted to come and it conflicted with the wedding, so it was a
Yes.
big bummer, but I kept passing your sign and thinking, oh gosh, I really wanted to come.
Well, it's beautiful because it's out under the trees, because we've got lots of oak trees. So the tables were all set up out under the trees, and people kind of just meandered from booth to booth and had a good time, and it was delightful.
Oh yeah, that's
It's most
totally,
delightful.
that's right up my alley, and I'm sure a lot of our viewers watching as well. You guys have some incredible events. I've been to the Boot Scoot.
We have not done Boots and Scoots the last couple of years.
Oh,
It is a fun event.
yeah.
It just takes a lot of time and a lot of energy. And I have a very small staff. There's
Right.
only 7 of us that run this, that are paid.
Wow.
And I am not paid. I am, everybody else is.
Wow.
But, no, I feel that that's appropriate and right.
Yeah.
And so basically it's a paid staff of 6.
Sure.
And all the rest are volunteers. We have about 30 to 40 volunteers that help us out. And it couldn't happen without the volunteers. And they're wonderful because if they come,
Mm-hmm.
and they come because they like children, and they come because they like animals, and if I can convince them to stay for 6 months, they are all able to see changes that
Yes.
each and every one of the children make. Some of the children will, improve faster, as
Right.
you know, and others will take more time. But my passion is that we can demonstrate to families and to the individuals that there is hope, we can always be better, and if we are working towards getting better, then it's a very pleasant, happy thing.
That's so incredible. So, I'm going to get a little personal with you guys. So my son was actually a patient here many years ago. He's now 14. He is on the spectrum. And, when he first started here, he was nonverbal, and it was actually a really bleak prognosis. His doctor said that he would probably never talk. And now I'm so happy to say at 14, he's not only fully conversational.
You can probably shut him up, right?
I know, yeah, but and he's funny. He's
Hilarious.
funny. He gets up on stage, and he's performed in theater. He's done all these incredible things, and just seeing the transformation that he made and having the benefit of an early therapy like Ride to Walk. You guys were so instrumental in helping him to find his voice, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. That's just incredible to me, and that was back in the day when Alta Regional used to provide funding as well.
Right.
Which unfortunately did go away when the economy crashed.
But we need to talk about, because people need to know, they're trying to reinstate where families are going to get X number of dollars, and they can actually choose what services they want for their children. And so I think that's going to open doors again for a lot of families. So,
Yes.
If you have somebody that is autistic or has cerebral palsy or sensory processing or the alphabet soup ones, ADD, ADHD, OCD, and it goes on and on.
Sure.
We serve all of those kind of children, so that the reason being is the horse has an incredible ability to ask us to use all of our senses
Yes.
at one time. So that means they're listening, they're seeing, they're smelling, they're feeling through their skin, they're getting information from their muscles and their joints, they're getting information about their balance from their ear. And when you bombard the central nervous system, all of a sudden everything is up and working. And the brain takes and processes that information in different areas, and it comes back to the association area, and they begin to lay down different approaches to the world, and
Right.
particularly if it's safe, so that you have to have a safe place, but still challenge. And with people that care and are loving and kind, and that will accept these kids and adults, we don't have just children, we have adults out there,
Right.
to be able to reach their maximum potential. what your boy did.
I know.
And it's wonderful. And I have many, many stories of children that actually made big changes.
Yes.
The one that I'd like to share quickly
Please.
is she was a premature baby. When her mom brought her home, she fit in a Kleenex box. That's how big she was. And they basically told the family that she wouldn't walk, she wouldn't talk, she'd be in a wheelchair.
Oh.
And by the time she was 6 or 7, she was walking and she was out riding the horses. And eventually she went to another riding program where it wasn't, quote, disabled. And then she went off to school, and I didn't hear from her. I mean, she was healthy, she was fine, she was gone. And about 5 years ago, I got a phone call that said, "Hi, do you remember me?" And I said, "How do you think I could not remember you?" And she said, I'm here. I'm an occupational therapist now.
Wow.
And she said, "I want to come back and I want to help kids that are just like me."
How powerful.
And so she was beautiful. She was only here for a couple of years, but she brought a lot of joy to families that could see how she had succeeded.
Yes.
And so, again, it's offering hope
Yes.
that we can have children get better. I've never had a child not get better.
Right.
They may not be, quote, normal,
Right.
but what's normal?
Right. I don't know.
I'm not sure any of us do either. So if we can function and get along in society and do well, people always think everybody has to walk.
Right.
But people get along just fine in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
And if you have your speech, you're on top of the world.
Sure.
So, those are the things that we promote, is good posture, use of their voice,
Yes.
their hands, and if they can walk, then we'll work on walking.
Sure. Wow, that is. I knew that, and I'm hoping that anybody who's watching that didn't know all these incredible things about this incredible program that's just right down the street. We're right off Highway 193, by the way, right by the John
Turkey.
Adams and Turkey Creek.
Mm-hmm.
So very, very close to town. And Dr. Korn has just explained how you can come out, you can go fishing. And I'm kind of just jumping around, but I'm really excited about this. I hope that you guys will come out and visit the property and take advantage of everything that there is to offer. I hope that you guys will find some time to volunteer and see what is going on here. This is such an incredible, amazing program. Dr. Korn, can you tell us about your tack room? I think that's something important to talk about as well.
Well, we were getting lots and lots of donations, and we said, maybe if we cleaned up the used tack and opened a tack shop, that we could then perhaps just help to support the program.
Yeah.
And so that's what we've done. So anybody who needs gently used tack, somebody's here all the time, but they're always here on Thursdays and Saturdays. And you can call if you'd like to find out if somebody's going to be here. But we've got saddles and we've got helmets and boots and clothing and bits and bridles and you name it. And so come out and take a look. Everything goes to support program. Every bit of it.
I love that. That is so incredible. And I know that you'd mentioned volunteers as well, and we kind of touched on that. But how would somebody get involved if they're looking for an opportunity to volunteer with the programs?
Thank you. Yes, we always need volunteers. And I've had people stay as long as 16 years as a volunteer and as short as 6 months. But we do ask people to come and at least stay for 6 months. But it's easy to get involved. Go online, go to ridetowalk.org, and it will tell you, go to volunteer application and fill it out. Either send it in or bring it to us. And that way, when we have an in-service, which is about once a month, we ask people to come and shadow to see if they really like what they're going to do.
Right.
Because we really get better carry over if we have people that come out and meet the children first, see what they're able to do, see if they have the desire to help in this area.
Sure.
Then come to an in-service, and after that, then we ask you to try and be here with us for about 6 months. And then a lot of the people find that they really want to be involved with the horses too, but I ask people to please just work with the children out in the arena first, And then if you really want to let our wonderful barn manager, Wendy Silva, know that you're interested in helping with the horses, and then she'll take you through special classes too. So that it's everybody comes with some horse knowledge, but we like everybody to do it our way. So that's therein is why we are so special, particular about what we do.
Sure, and I'm glad that that you mentioned, the horses and how. So you guys actually provide boarding as well. I understand you're full now, but there's a waiting list for boarding?
There is a waiting list, but people come and they're generally very satisfied. It's always kept clean and immaculate. The horses are fed well. They have a quiet, cool place to be. And if you're local, then it's easy to come, get on your horse, and go out on the trails or just right off of our property here.
Okay.
And the amount of boarding depends on the size of the paddock that people are interested in.
Got it.
How many of the horses are, do you own any of the horses, or have they been donated, or?
We, quote, own them. They've all been donated.
Wow.
And I have a lovely story because we have a horse that used to be a police horse.
Oh.
This is what you call them.
Yeah.
And he was donated by this wonderful man who rode him for, I think, 12 years on patrol.
Uh-huh.
And he and his wife came to the beer and wine. And his wife pulled me over and said, he needs to volunteer. And so I went over to him, and his name is Tony. I said, Tony, would you like to go see your horse? And he goes, oh, yes. So we went out to see Zion.
Oh.
And I, of course, talked his ear off about how wonderful a volunteer he would be. And he came to the in-service last week. And so he's going to be with us, too. So he'll be a wonderful volunteer.
That's awesome.
Can you tell us about the fishing derby coming up?
Oh, yes. On Labor Day, the Kiwanis have a fishing derby that is open to all children that have a disability and all of their family. And they provide food, they provide the rods, and I believe they start around 9:30 in the morning. And of course it's always usually hot, so you need to come prepared for heat, but they have drinks and they have food for everybody.
Wow.
And then they offer trophies for the biggest one and the heaviest one, I don't know. So the kids have fun and everybody has a good time. So I would encourage anybody who has a child with a disability to get online with Kiwanis. I think you need to sign up for it and make sure then that you get here because it's fun.
So, does anybody have any questions? I'd like to really open it up to questions and comments. Ladies, anybody?
Richard is asking, what's required to be a volunteer?
You need to be healthy. You need to no disabilities. Basically, you need to, be intact. Love children, enjoy animals, and have a desire to help.
Wow, that includes a lot of people.
Yes.
So there's plenty of people watching right now, I'm sure, that that could come by and see if this is going to be a good fit.
He also wants to know how many horses you have.
We have 10 of our own for the riding, and I think it's 14 that are boarding horses.
Wow. And then I know we touched with Julie. What is the cost for a child to get involved in your program?
That's an excellent
And how do you
question.
go about coming up with that cost?
As we were saying, funding is always difficult. It costs us $500 a child a month to ride them. We understand that not everybody has $500 to put out towards that.
Right.
We scholarship those that need it for almost half of what it costs. We do ask that parents then help with fundraising to help make up the difference.
Right.
So it's $250 a month, and that's for the one where we've got a riding instructor out there, either myself or another therapist out there, and an assistant riding instructor, and then all of our volunteers. So they get a lot. Each child is evaluated before they're put on the horse.
Right.
So that they have an individual program that is designed to help meet their goals. And so you can't really ride for much less than $50 a riding session anywhere,
Right.
and you don't get all of those services. So people don't always understand it. It sounds like a lot, but if you start looking at what it costs to play soccer and
Oh.
baseball and all of those things too, I'm sure we're right about in the
Well,
same ballpark.
Yeah, and the truth is, I mean, there's a lot of overhead. You
Yes.
know, it costs a lot. It costs a lot of money to even maintain a 21-acre property that doesn't have
Right.
the horses and the therapies and the staff and all those things. So, yeah, I don't think it's bad at all.
So I want children to ride.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it so that we can still stay here
Sure.
and yet not cause anybody too much angst with the amount. So,
Can you tell us about your riders?
yes, I can.
Okay.
Like I said, they come with all kinds of disabilities.
Yes.
The youngest we usually start is about 2.
Wow.
The oldest right now is in their 60s.
Okay.
So the age range is wonderful. But this is the thing that's so beautiful about riding. You can ride young, and you can ride as long as you want to, as long as you're able to get on and off the horse.
Right.
And now you've got 4 legs that work better than 2 legs sometimes, so they take you everywhere. So it really lifts the spirit. It
Yes.
really helps the morale. And physically, the horse moves just like we do. They move forward, they move up and down, they move side to side, and they rotate. It's all the same motions that we do when we're walking. So when we get on the horse, our body mimics what their body is doing.
Right.
And so it helps to get that information in. That's why what we were talking about earlier with everything being stimulated,
Yes.
it comes together, and it's a functional activity. It's fun, and yet it's therapeutic. And so my little ones, I have the youngest one right now is 3.5,
Oh.
and she was born with a disability that nutritionally that caused her some damage in the back part of her brain, which provides the motor control and the balance, which is called your cerebellum.
Uh-huh.
And she came to me, and she literally could not hold herself together. I mean, she was kind of like a puppet that was constantly in
Yeah.
movement. And we got her good enough in the clinic, and then we started her out here on the horse, and I rode behind her because she didn't have the balance. And just a month ago, she's now up on the horse, holding her own surcingle, and she's got a sidewalker on either side, and she's holding her own head control.
Wow.
So that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And so I'm tickled to death.
Yeah.
We have lots of autistic kids, and one little guy, he came out here and he screamed at me for the first month. We didn't get on the horse
Right.
for the first 3 weeks because he's screaming at me.
Right.
And finally I just said, that's enough. I'm going to put my helmet on, and I'm going to put your helmet on,
Uh-huh.
and we're going to go get on the horse. And he screamed all the way up to mounting the horse, and the minute his bottom hit the bareback pad, he had a grin from ear to ear, and he's never stopped talking.
Yeah.
So it was cute as can be.
Yeah.
I have a young man right now that has ridden since he was 2. He's a cerebral palsy child,
Uh-huh.
but he's a young man now. He's 19. He still needs to wear a body jacket because his trunk is so mobile.
Uh-huh.
But he tells us his favorite thing all week is coming out to ride the horse.
Oh. Oh my goodness.
I know. He's a darling.
Wow.
So, I mean, I could go on and on because they're all wonderful.
Yeah. Wow. Such special stories. Just incredible memories start here, and wow.
So, I would encourage anybody who's either knows somebody or has someone that could benefit from the program, or would like to volunteer, or just come out and be nosy and find out who we are and what we do. And I'm always happy to share. This is for the community, so I invite everybody to come and see what we're doing.
So I just want to open it up one last time. Any more questions, comments?
Not really. Richard did ask, what if you have no experience with horses?
You don't need any.
You will after you
Yes.
come over and
You know,
volunteer.
you tell Richard, I didn't either.
Yeah.
I knew how to work with the kids, and I had somebody that I brought in who worked with the horses, who was Judith, that I mentioned.
Yes.
And I have to say, in the 34 years, I've learned a whole lot about horses, but I still don't consider myself a horse person.
Right.
I am a physical therapist who works with these kids and rides with these kids on the back of a horse.
Right. Well, Dr. Korn, thank you so much for sharing today, and thank you so much for your time. We just really appreciate it. I really actually love to kind of give you guys a pan around the property. It's going to be a little shaky. Obviously, we got you on a tripod right now, so there's no shaky hands. But if one of you lovely ladies wouldn't mind grabbing the tripod and kind of showing everybody around.
And I would love you to take them out and show them the arena where
Yes.
the kids are riding, and then the lake, and explain a little bit about what's going on with the water.
Yeah.
It will get better.
Okay,
And
let's
thank
do
you
it.
for having us. We're delighted.
Yes, thank you.
Okie dokie. All right. Did that seem to come off okay?
You did marvelous.
So as we step out of the trailer that we were sitting in for the interview, as you can see over to the right there, there's this beautiful lake, and this is where you're able to actually come grab a fishing pole like these gentlemen have. I assume they brought their own. Looks like they brought their own, but there are actually fishing poles that you can borrow as well. But you just drop your $5 right there in the drop box. It's an honor system. You come out here and there's boats. You can go out on boats. There's all kinds of incredible things here. I thought one thing that was really special this year and some prior years as well is, Salt Mine, they did their sunrise service here on Easter morning and some different things like that. But if you just pan around, there's a playground here. You can see where the horses are kept. And there's the top room is just right over here to the left.
I'm trying
and there's
to stand
Lucia. Say hi. There you go. So that's the tack room there. It's closed now, but just a beautiful, beautiful property. And then if you just come on over here with us, you can actually see the arena. You can see some of the riders and just see the incredible things that are going on here. So I appreciate you guys bearing with us on our bouncy journey over over here to the arena. Really incredible place. I love the fact there are year-round events that you can come out, support the Ride to Walk program, take advantage of, and just really have some fun at this beautiful, beautiful property. So come on over here and let's see the arena. So there are riders that are, what's that? Oh, we're good. Go ahead. So Dr. Korn's going to kind of show us around a little bit. So you can see there's some riders. So yeah, look at that. She's balancing there. She's moving with her horse, and she looks to be like she's really proud of herself. She's got that down.
She's a really interesting little pumpkin. I had her in the clinic for about 3 years.
Uh-huh.
She has sensory processing,
Okay.
and she didn't want to wear shoes. She didn't want to have anything to do with anybody but mom.
Yeah.
And just a real difficult time. And so we worked. Now we're to the point we can be on a horse, and this is only her third or fourth time, so it's brand new to her.
Yeah.
She was up on her hands and knees last week, and she said when she got off, she said, I'm going to stand up next week.
Oh.
So if you stick around in a little bit, she might just stand up. And she was so proud of herself.
Oh.
And of course, that's what builds self-esteem.
That's right.
Is when we feel good.
No. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
increases the amount of input that the body is receiving. And so it has to respond even more. So if you go from a walk to a trot to a canter to and we never take our kids up to canters or it's just, you know, a trot is really about all they need to do.
Sure.
If they can manage that and can learn to be in good posture and have a good riding seat, then they can go out to anything. And so that's when they go out with our barn manager, Wendy, who actually then takes and teaches them how to groom and tack, and then they get the ride. And it's fantastic.
I love that.
And she's going to do that. She sticks with it. She's going to do it. She's just a natural at it. She has real confidence in it.
Yeah.
And it should be changing all of her sensory input.
Right.
Because she's getting a lot better. And she's not minding. Where before shoes bothered her, noises bothered her. It's all beginning to be improved.
That's wonderful. All right, you guys. Well, we appreciate you hanging in here and watching this our episode this week. And next week we will be live with
someone.
I lost my scheduler, so we'll let you know later in the week. But
We will be live next week. That's
yeah, we'll be live next week. So we started a little late today, but I hope you guys will join us next week. It will be Thursday at 10 next week. And thank you to everybody who is watching and sharing and commenting on the video. And you guys are all going the drawing for the gift card. And we will see you next week. Have a great week.